On January 6th of this year, the Historic Vids uploaded this video to Twitter, and as you can see by the community note, supposedly this video has no sound, and if I play it, you can hear nothing. Now, why was this community note and why was this video uploaded without any sound and not changed? We can see that this video, despite having zero sound, has up to 24,000 likes currently, but it has a lot of reposts, and that's because a lot of people were showing that this video had no sound, yet it had no engagement. A lot of people brought in the idea that is this an example of the dead internet theory. So what is the dead internet theory? The dead internet theory is the idea that bots essentially run the internet, that majority of the traffic is bots and the majority of the content generated is by bots, and that directing them to buy certain products or do certain actions, such as possibly to vote in a certain political party, which is why it's also classed as a general conspiracy theory. There isn't a lot of evidence, and this is why this first Twitter post, as I would say, is really the first compelling case of a dead internet theory. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be conspiracy theory related, as it is entirely plausible now, thanks to what we can see here, a section called large language models, which is aka ChatGPT, an AI able to generate quite believable content or text, as previously before it was not as capable as you might think. So the dead internet theory is believed to have originated from 4chan, which is an online anonymous chat kind of website, kind of like a social media, and a lot of general conspiracy theories and such come out there, and hacker groups tend to associate there. Now, the concept is only quite recent, so late 2010s and 2020s, early 2020s I should say, is when it started to get floated around, where people were starting to discuss it. Now, the dead internet theory can sort of be split up into two categories when it comes to the bots. The bot traffic, so the ones that go around scraping data, collecting data, and the ones that are creating data, creating generated content. Really, I'd say that during this time there really wasn't much evidence. Yes, bots were around, but not in enough that the majority of the traffic was bots. So we'll look at the cases shown and go through it. And we'll first look at the bots traffic specifically. And in this example, we have the Imperva Bot Traffic 2016 report, which is an older report, but this was the first time that bots were responsible for 52% of web traffic. Now, this is from their data. There's probably different studies that have a different conclusion, but why don't we look at the more modern 2023 report? So the 2023 report is not of data gathered from 2023, it's just that the report was made in 2023. The data is actually from 2022, so it's the statistics of the year 2022. We see that on the executive summary, that 52.6% of them was human traffic. So we're actually back up to before, so we're swapped roles. As in 2016 it was more bot traffic, but now there's more human traffic. But overall, it's very close. 30.2% is bad bots, and 17.3% is good bots. So what is a good bot and a bad bot? Well, the general idea is a sort of a good bot. It helps the user in any way. So they may be looking for information on the internet that is beneficial for websites and such, not really taking data without permission. And you can also imagine stuff like Discord bots. They can be very useful, such as ones that play music in the background. They are generally good bots, while a malicious bot would be something that could be used for scalping. So a couple of years ago, graphics cards were just impossible to get, particularly NVIDIA graphics cards, because a lot of bots were just out there scalping all the good deals for graphics cards as soon as they're available. So an actual human was not able to react enough to buy it, and then they would resell these products, or they just wouldn't even resell them. They were keeping them because at the time mining crypto was at its high. That's another big issue. Is DDoS is another popular one, which is just flooding traffic for a website or service. So that means the service becomes unusable, and this is a common attack because it's very easy to implement. You just need to create a lot of different bots that all go to the same address and just hog up all the internet resources. So Imperva puts the bad bots into 3 different categories: simple, moderate, and advanced. So a simple one is just connected from a single ISP assigned IP address. Just very basic, uses just simple automated scripts. While a moderate one is, has a headless browser, so it's trying to emulate being on a browser as well, so it looks like more like a genuine user. The advanced, it's trying to be a human, and that is attempts to spoof spot detection and probably even solving captures, because captures, if you remember a few years ago, they would just like these letters with little scribbly like lines in them, and you had to discern what it said. Well, bots are easily able to discern what that capture says, and they will just fill it in and say that they're human. Now obviously captures now have stuff like spot the traffic lights, and with current computer vision it's very possible an AI would be able to train and just solve those captures as well. So they are getting far more advanced and months, and it even says here the capture challenges and more is becoming difficult. Also been a decade since Imperva started doing these bot traffic reports, and it has a nice 10-year graph. You can see that the trend for bad bots is increasing, so there's more bad bots entering the internet, and the lowest points were actually in 2016 and 2018, which is quite interesting when we go back to the Wikipedia here, where it explains that that they found that 52% of web traffic was bots, but maybe after a recalculation they found that actually only about 40%, high 40% is where the actual traffic was. This article is very good, and I recommend you read it if you want to as well. It's completely free to download, and because it has a lot of details on breaking down each where the bots are going. So the most attacked was obviously the financial sector, and then telecom and computing IT. Generally you wouldn't expect the bot to do in sort of retail and travel. There's not much to gain there, and you can see it even breaks down what kind of bots are in each segment. So gaming is full of a lot of bad bots and less human traffic, and not many good bots. And this relates to web traffic, so I don't think this relates to in-game itself with bots playing. So Team Fortress 2 has a big bot problem, and the anti-cheat can't detect them at the moment, so there's a lot of bots in that, but I don't think this would be count on here. It says that a significant portion of gaming traffic is bad bots. Now this could be related, how we said earlier that it was the Nvidia graphics card, it could be relating to that they were scalping these gaming products. So scalpers are pretty big when it comes to purchasing, such as the PlayStation 5. They were bought out so quickly, and they were being scalped for such a long time. This is possibly why bad bots are so prominent there, because everyone is actually employing a bot to try and get their favorite collector's edition or video game day one, and rather than be out of luck and it being sold out, which has been a big problem in the gaming landscape. There have been attempts to mitigate it. As you can see, it does talk about bots causing problems in gaming, and perhaps games like RuneScape, which are web-based, might count for traffic. So a lot of bots are using that to farm XP and do very grindy tasks automated. These then can be sold once they hit max level for a price. So that's where those kind of bots can be, and it can just ruin the game. We looked at the web traffic. Let's go to the generated content, and we'll refer back to that tweet we first saw. Now back to this tweet, if we scroll down, it's going to be less effective now, since everyone has seen that there was all this engagement for a post that has no sound, but we can still see remnants of it that remains there. So this account, Time Capsule Tales, posts a lot of replies in a lot of historic vids kind of comments, and you can see here, and just this kind of unrelated, not really talking about the issue, just posting as if it's oblivious. Another one, this is the actual one with someone posted here with sound. Here's another one where it's just because the word accent's used, so, and the visual post was relating about relating about speech. It's AI has picked up that, oh, I'm going to post a somewhat related topic, but doesn't actually discuss the original tweet. Another one which is about the fake sign language one, which is again relating to speech, and then another one about speech. And then this guy, clearly the human poster woke up and realized, actually, oh wait, this video doesn't have sound, which is quite amusing. But they still keep going. This is the same account. This is another one as well, Visionary Void. Another one about accents. Now this is not exclusive to this tweet, and I'll show you other examples, but they pertain a lot to this account, the historic vids account. And we can click this, and I can probably pick their most recent post, and they post very regularly. This is 18 minutes ago, and there we go. Time Capsule Tales. Look at this, just everywhere. Is this a real one? Shows clearly the age is just numbers. I mean, the thing is, it feels like you can't trust a blue check mark post now. It could be AI generated. I mean, it has AI in their bio, so, but this is literally the first post I posted. Look how much engagement this has got for a video that's just been posted 18 minutes ago, of all just from these bots. This is it. Look, this one's someone's guys reposting their own tweet. What was going on? Repost again, blue check mark, trying to get as much maximum engagement. You notice that a lot of it is blue check marks. Here's another one that I shown in a different video, which was this Nintendo PlayStation prototype, and it's whoa, it's just full of AI generated bot accounts. This is about, I guess, a cryptocurrency. But let's think. Let's say I was an advertiser and I was going to pay to be on Twitter. I'm going to pay for some ad space and I'm going to target to a certain group. Now, if my ad were to appear next to this tweet or in the replies, and this tweet got, let's say, 39,000 engagement, this tweet's been made by a sort of AI generated kind of post, and it's just being responded to AI generated post. So if bots are just viewing it and bots are just creating it, no one's going to click on my ad because they're not human. They're not a consumer. So I'm wasting money on ad space, and it just severely devalues the view on Twitter. And this has been one of the main reasons why Twitter has been losing advertisers, is because the targeted advertising is just all over the place. It's not targeted creative, not like something like Facebook. If you ever used Facebook, the targeted ads are actually pretty incredible. It really does target to the correct audience. If you will find a lot of products that are, something you'd probably buy. You look at it, it's actually, oh, this is something I would be. It might be a clothing brand you're very interested in, might be a watch, and so that an ad space on Facebook is far more valuable than it is on Twitter. You're an advertiser, you're like, I want to have it to this group. People would be like, yep, I got you. Here is this ad that's going to be shown to this specific target audience, and it can get pretty specific. YouTube is less so. It's pretty targeted. It kind of guesses based on, it's usually based on the video. So if you're watching a financial video, it's going to kind of show a financial ad. It's not really going to show an ad that's specific to your certain tastes. But it's still very good. And in fact, a lot of people say YouTube has the best view value. The value on a view on YouTube is far more valuable than it is on any other platform. Like the payout to content creators is very good compared to other platforms, especially something like Twitch, which is pathetic when subscribers are 50-50. Not great. Now, I don't think this is the exact article, but Vice, I believe, posted an article about the ads. This time it was the AI ads were being made on Twitter. So not only is the post being AI generated, but we're also getting AI generated related ads. And this specifically talks about how, thanks to the community notes, it's user warning people on the ad that these are not exactly the most genuine ads selling a dropship product. Now, what is dropshipping? Essentially just you're buying this product for very cheap and you're just marking it up by a lot and selling it on to the users. So this one here talks about break from screen physics, blah blah blah, and it's saying that, oh, you can actually just buy this thing for $3.14 on AliExpress. So these other companies would come and they would buy these products usually in bulk at a cheap price and just upsell them to you. There's actually really no change in the product, maybe a slight design change, and so it's actually considered as kind of a scam. They're kind of sending a disingenuous product. And so you can see that this one's actually AI related, the AI chatbot just built on top of the ChatGPT service. But what has been supposedly happening is that they're using AI to essentially get dropship products and then to advertise it on Twitter to sell it to the users. Now, I don't know how effective it is, because we saw earlier that AI were creating content, and not only that, AI were interacting with products. So the rate of return is probably pretty low and may even be unsustainable, which is actually relates onto the second point. And so Twitter/X is plummeted value 72% down from when Elon originally bought it. And it's possible that this year that Twitter will go bankrupt, that unless something is changed, or investor comes in and helps support the platform, it may shut down, or some huge changes will happen that reduces the size of maybe only Twitter Blue users are able to use it and becomes a purely subscription based only service. Either way, this relates back to the AI and sort of the ad situation, is that advertisers aren't going because the targeted ads aren't that great. bots are only interacting, a lot of bots are interacting with each other, so there's no value in advertising to bots. They're not going to buy your product, and so in the end it's actually an unsustainable system. So the dead internet theory may not be possible in the future, in the long run, because if it were to happen again, if it's just bots interacting with 99%, it means that 99% of the users are not going to buy the product, and there's no real value in that for the advertiser. So this is perhaps the first example of what a majority AI system looks like, where the platform just can't support it. There's just no money to be made. Another situation of the dead internet theory that was intentionally done was with IRL, where they had claims of that they had huge amount of users joining their service, and what it turned out, it was something like 95% of the actual users on this app were actually just bots manufactured by the company themselves. It was actually essentially fraud. It was to get investors by saying, look at all this growth we're getting on our app, like all these users joining us. Well, actually they were just completely fabricated, and they put "we love doing more together" in IRL.com, when that obviously didn't happen because there was no one there that was bots. You can see from this article from TechCrunch that 95% of its users were fake. 95. Now this is truly a dead internet. You would have gone in this app and you would have been like, where's all the users? Because the users that were on it were a bit fishy. There was a lot of groups that it made, and there was no one would really interact with each other. The app was so dead that it's actually quite hard to find any information on what the app actually looked like, because such a small amount of people were actual users. You just kind of find that the fact that majority of them were bots is kind of hard to find examples. And this was all for financial gain, which is a trend within these sort of bots, these malicious intent, is to sort of have a money incentive in with them. So this was the case of getting investment from companies by saying, hey, look at this amazing growth we have on this app. All these Gen Zers are joining this IRL app, and we can easily monetize them. This never happened. I'm not sure why they did this, because this was obviously going to bite them. I presume that by faking it, they could actually get real users by showing that this was a very popular app, and then when users would join, they could then just start removing the bot accounts. But this would look odd, because it would be like, oh look, the user traffic is decreasing, and so then it'll be like, oh, don't invest in that company because they're no longer growing. So this was obviously going to just bite them back. In fact, I believe that employees started noticing a large influx in users. So not even all the employees knew, and so they told the higher ups that there's a lot of bot activities, and they kind of just obviously brushed it off because they were the ones initiating the bots. But yeah, this is definitely one of the crazy ones of this year of a dead internet. Obviously this was only a section of it though, and was quickly shut down, and the app only was around for about 2 years. Another example is with dating sites. They can tend to have a lot of bots depending on the platform, if it's a more legitimate or illegitimate, and Ashley Manson was one of them. Now this is a website where you can have an affair, and this was targeted to hackers. And back in 2015, problems with it, they obviously did a lot of data leaking, so they showed who was on the website. So this resulted in a lot of people filing divorces because they found out their partner was in fact having an affair. And one of the other things was they found out that there was a lot of female bot accounts, fake ones. So this was, tricking people into buying a service and then talking to it, because I believe, well, there's probably a paid component, but I think that you had to pay for it at all. And so during the data leak, they found that had over 70,000 bots just sending fake female messages to male users. So this is a way of thinking that there's more engagement. Now, I'm not sure how good these bots were, if they were obvious or not. Either way, it clearly were good enough if they had 70,000 of them and then they were deploying them and using them. And I suppose it kept people engaged, that they think that they got a new message from an actual genuine woman. In this case, they didn't. And you're probably thinking, why is it just female bots? And that's probably because they had a larger male audience and a much smaller female audience. This is generally the case with dating websites, where there's far more men and then there's far less women. So AI generated content is not necessarily all bad, as we had AI generated SpongeBob, and currently we still got going AI generated Family Guy. Now, besides from the legal issues, these were very funny because the crudeness of the AI, because the AI was very rough, it was very crunchy in the voices, the animations were obviously so basic that it was quite amusing. And the thing is that these were clearly stated that they are, it is in the title AI generated. So it wasn't misleading users. Like, this is meant to be like a fun take on AI. Now, obviously, it was copyright because it was using characters from licensed shows, but that sort of did add to the humor, to be fair. But yeah, in the long run, it could never last, because I don't think SpongeBob would like it if they were making possibly not safe for work jokes that are meant to be kid characters. So imagine if a child started searching up SpongeBob and it came up with AI SpongeBob episodes or something like that. That could have repercussions on the brand's image. So these don't last. But in the sense that AI generated content, it can be fun and it can be useful when it's, you're not misleading users. Now, I don't think there's actually really anything wrong with historic vids if it's like this AI generated kind of content, because I think having automated content, that it can shine light on possibly obscure stuff that you might have not known. Like for historic vids, if they're posting kind of historical interesting content, then with an AI you can go through, so for example, Wikipedia, and show possibly some more obscure articles, historical moments from certain countries that people would never find, and they can just follow this account and see on a daily basis or whatever that, oh, this event happened or this invention was made. And it's obviously matters if it's referenced properly, and it's also, again, clearly say that it's AI supported. And I find that a lot of these, they're sort of quite obscure. Like, where did these come from? And this is sort of fair Harry Potter, you expect that to come from Warner Brothers, but the original content is not referenced. Like, where could I find a full clip, for example, would be needed to make it, I think, acceptable, that it clearly states that, yeah, this is AI and here's where the AI information is from. And so, do I think that the dead internet theory is true? No, I don't think it generally is. I do think parts of the internet are AI generated, sections of it, as would be expected. Do I think that there's a big conspiracy that is government control and a trafficking? No, I think it's far more boring than that. It's simply that people are looking to make money and they're just trying to maximize it with little effort. But I do think the future could become far more heavily AI based and more bot activity, unless some sort of precautions are put into place. As for the Twitter example, we see more genuine, more authentic looking AI that looks like they are humans interacting with each other. And so it wouldn't surprise me in the future if significantly more chunks of the internet are becoming far more AI based, and that it is used to trick users into making purchases. While AI can be used negatively for creating bots, specifically bad bots, you gotta remember it can be used for good things. You can use AI to also find genuine organic content as well, alongside the bad content that could be ignored. And I'm sure stuff like YouTube, and already within Google's algorithms, that AI is used with images and to try and find the best content for people. This is 100% going to be far more AI-ified, or whatever you describe it, where they're going to use it to find more good content. Previously, early days of YouTube, the trending tab was just generally filled with just popular videos that were popular, the most viewed videos of that week. Now trending is based on what sort of content is gaining far more videos than it should. So a highly subscribed YouTube channel got a few million views every video, that's going to be normal. But if it saw an extreme hike of views, then it would appear in the trending. So that's what kind of category has changed. And I expect with AI, it's going to start recommending content that it thinks is not AI and perhaps is far more organic. People are engaging with it more, and those categories. With Twitter, it's more difficult. It's text posts. How can you discern what is organic and what's fake? And we tend to see trends with such places like Twitter. Earlier, in the earlier days of AI, when it was ChatGPT was just first brought on, what often people would do was do a sort of a kind of a thread. They'd say, here's 10 things you can do to improve your life, do 10 things you can do to get popular, such and such. And these were clearly sort of kind of AI generated, or at least assisted. And this was to maximize engagement, get people to click on the tweet and scroll down and read it. This would make it look like that this person is viewing this tweet for a much longer period. As we saw in the bot report, currently traffic is still over 50%, getting close to being 50-50, what we're still seeing a lot of traffic is human. Not only that, AI needs to be trained on something and generate data on something, and that stuff will be humans. Just looking at on YouTube and all the content made, you can tell it's from a human. They show their face, but the way they kind of interact, AIs are quite predictable and can sometimes be random. They also take things such very literally. Just trying to ask a more complex chat GPT AI a mathematical equation, it probably will respond with the answer rather than someone normal, a human, saying, "What is this? I don't understand," for example. You'll also see that websites with very little to no monetization, such as Open Game Art, a place where you upload your artwork you've designed and let people use it for completely free. You can see that AI is kind of very rare, and a lot of it is very organic content. No monetization to be made, and of the strict rules saying no NFTs, such as NFTs, and you may be committing fraud, how many people are engaged in it? And so, what's your experience with bot activity? Have you seen a lot of it, like you've seen on Twitter? Or have you not noticed it? Or are you someone who actually creates bots and use them? Anyway, comment down below and please subscribe, and for more AI and programming related tips. Yeah.